on here? Okay. Sorry about that. I was actually logged into a different profile, so now we're good to go. Okay, so we'll start with our usual warm-up. So you're gonna need a couple of light weights. We'll do some loaded arm circles. So I've got a couple of 5-pounders. I'm gonna go up the middle and down the back, okay? Up the middle and back. I also have that thumb up, not down. And do the other side. Seems a little latent, but I think it'll resolve itself here. So if I stick my nose up to the camera, just don't pay it, no, never mind. Okay, so we're going out to the side now, so out to the side and across the body. Match your breathing to your movements. Again, slow. Don't swing your arm, we don't want momentum. We're trying to load the muscles gently. Again, thumb up and across, thumb up. Okay, opposite side. Looking for as I do this is any shoulder weakness. So on this left side, for the last few months, it's been a little impingy and not really comfortable. So when I get out here, or if I'm going up the middle and back here, right about there, that's where it tends to really give me some grief. It's not strong enough to maintain that position. So I'm trying to gently load that position, but I'm also using this as a diagnostic tool to see how well my shoulders are gonna hold up for the workout. Okay, so we're done with that. Okay, because we're doing some legs today, the other thing I like to do is get into some deep hip flexion, deep knee flexion, deep ankle flexion. So generally I'll grab the tall box, which is in use right now. I'm gonna grab the medium box. Okay, so medium box, 1 foot up. I wanna bring my hips down to my heel. But as I do that, I wanna make sure that I'm balanced in my foot. So I wanna make sure I'm dropping down vertically with my weight as I enter into that forward flexion. So I'm not shifting weight into my toes. I'm still keeping a relative amount of weight back towards my heel. Now I like to open up a little bit here, so I'm going to drive the knee out to really help me open up through those hips. Work that abduction and external rotation through the hip. And now I'm just oscillating, doing some circles. And switch directions. Okay, that's good. Gonna switch sides. Again, dropping weight down into my heel. And doing some oscillations. trying to keep my hips square on this as well. Make sure I'm not turning too much. Okay, that's good. All right. So first movement that we're doing is a Bulgarian split squat. Let me show you. Foot up, drop down, stand tall. Drop down, stand tall. You guys seeing that? So foot on an elevated surface behind you, drop down, stand tall. Drop down, stand tall. Okay? Now the box isn't going to be very comfortable. You can put a towel down, that would work. But a bench is ideal because it has a padded surface. You can do this with just a chair, if you have a chair, or the armrest of your couch will work excellent. Okay, so we're gonna do an initial warm-up set, 20 reps per leg, okay? So let's give that a go. So, foot on the bench. We wanna get into the ankle crease, not on the toes. When you're on the toes, the leg is much more active. We can't let it relax in this position, at least not well. But it's really important that you're able to let these muscles here relax. If you're on your toes, there's a little bit incentive to kind of push your toes into the bench and tighten up all through your flexor musculature here. We want to be able to relax that, because if this leg is too stiff, we can't drop down and you're going to get forced forward because that leg won't bend. So we want a certain amount of passivity through this leg. We want that knee to flex passively on the way down so that our weight isn't forced forward. Okay, 20 reps. 2, 3, 4, 5. I bring my hands out in front for a little bit of counterbalance. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Chest up, shoulders back. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take your back foot, place it exactly side by side with your front foot, switch feet, and you're back in it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Again, keep the abs engaged, keep the lower back engaged. We want that posture set, chest up tall. Totally lost count now. I'll have to make it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, excellent. We need some weight. So I'm gonna give you a few different options to load this exercise. Obvious one is grab a pair of weights. We're gonna keep these repetitions in an 8 to 12 rep range. So I want you to be using a resistance or a weight that makes it challenging in that rep range, and that whether you hit 10 reps or 12 reps, you're within a couple of reps of failure. And failure just meaning, if you start to feel that burning sensation, or if you just feel like you're getting to a point where you don't have enough strength to get yourself back up to standing, you want to try to figure out or make an educated guess as to how many reps you might have left. We want to leave a couple reps in reserve. That'll be good. That'll make sure that we're not completely gassing that musculature and forcing us to take longer rests than we want to, which today we're going to focus on minute to 90 seconds rest maybe for our leg stuff. And yeah, so that's all. All right. So I'm going to try the 25s. So that's 50 total pounds of extra weight on one leg. Foot up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Switching. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so here's how this is going to work. I did 12 reps, but I could have done far more. I was well below 2 reps in reserve. So what that means is, with the weight that I just used, that's still a warm-up weight. I need to increase my weight so I'm getting closer to getting to within 2 reps in reserve in the area of 8 to 12 reps. So if I increase the weight a little bit, there's a chance that I will be within 2 reps in reserve at 8 reps per leg. If I increase the weight even more, it'll be more like 2 reps in reserve at around 8 reps per leg. Does that make sense? So as you increase the weight, the number of reps that you can do goes down, and the level of intensity that we're trying to get to is within a couple of reps in reserve. We don't want to go to complete failure here. Okay, so I'm going to increase my weight. Okay, I'm grabbing the 40s. So this is 80 total pounds added to one leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Switch feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, so you may be wondering why I'm slowing down with that right leg. Well, there's a few reasons for that. For starters, it's the second leg, so I'm already systemically a little tired, so on a whole body level. So when I go to switch to that second leg, I've got a little less gas. Other thing, I'm a fair bit tighter in my left hip, so because I'm doing my right leg second, which in retrospect I would have changed, my hips are turning a little bit and I'm feeling restricted, and this musculature here is tiring out and getting a little burny. So the reason I'm coming up and standing and stopping on the right side has more to do with the fatigue I'm feeling in my left hip than in my right leg. And that's exactly what I mentioned earlier, is that we don't want the reason for us to stop to be because the rear leg is getting fatigued. We want to work to fatigue on the working leg, the one that's pushing us up. So if that rear leg is staying too stiff, then you're going to be stopping for the wrong reasons. Okay? All right, I'm going to increase the weight, because that's just how I roll. So a couple 24s, so 106 total pounds on the one leg. And let's start with the right leg this time. And switch. Those legs are feeling it. Went for a bike ride yesterday. They were already feeling a little spasmy. So, feeling it. They feel tight. Okay, so we're breaking. Taking a minute to 90 seconds in between your sets. Okay, so I'm gonna do one last set. And then, actually what I'll do right now is I'll show you variations that you can do with some bands. Okay, so, red band, this guy's half-inch wide. The thickness tends to be standard, but half-inch wide. So it's about 30 to 50 pounds resistance. That depends on how you're using it though, a little bit. So, one way that you can approach this, band goes under the foot, and so you want it set up in your normal stance. Okay, so foot on the floor, rear foot back. You have to choke up on this a little bit. So dropping down, standing up. Dropping down, standing up. And what I'll do is I'll double this up. Oh yeah, feeling that. Okay, switching sides. Get it comfy. Okay, bum down, chest up. Okay, so that is one way that you can use the band. Another way, this guy goes over the neck, and then you set your foot inside the band. Now obviously, with the band that I'm using right now, I'm not feeling a whole lot of resistance. So what you can do with that is you could choke up a little bit. Okay, so same idea, a little bit tighter. The other thing that you could do is obviously get a thicker band. So for that movement in particular, the medium light band, so that is this guy. So I think this is about 1.25 inches wide. That would be ideal for doing that version of your split squats. Okay, last variation. You need an anchor point. This style will really emphasize your knee extension and your quad engagement. So, stepping in with one leg, band goes behind the knee. I'm gonna bring this back more. Okay, plant the foot, rear foot elevated, drop down and stand. Drop down and stand. So as I stand up, that knee is pulling back against that band tension, which is going to really light up the quad, okay? All right, so we're going to move on to our rolling. And I'm trying to remember, oh, calf smash, that's what we're going to do. You need a roller. This guy. Okay, so set up. One leg on the roller. Bring the roller about halfway up the calf. So we want to get off the Achilles tendon and more so onto the belly of the calf muscle. I'm going to stack one foot over the other for added pressure. And I'm going to do some ankle circles with that bottom leg. And what that's doing is when I plantar flex forward, the calf is shortening. And then when I dorsiflex back, the calf is lengthening. And then I'm also just adding in that circular accessory movement. So apply pressure with that top leg. And just continuously do those ankle circles. And I'm going to gradually work my way up the calf. So I'm gradually sliding my butt forward here after every 3 rotations or so. And be as thorough as you can. Remember that your calf is a 3D shape, so don't just stay on like one trajectory. We want to work across as well. So tilt your calf to the left and then tilt it to the right as you're doing your ankle circles. And then move up, shift your position. Start on the outside of the calf, roll your way to the inside of the calf as you're doing your ankle circles. Golf ball in there. Ah. You're going to get to a point where you hit the fattest part of your calf, likely, where you're going to really feel some knots. Ah. Just try to relax your face and breathe. Key. You're going to start to feel your ankle get really, really tired, which is really the attaching muscles that are what's getting tired. The ones that are doing the dorsiflexing and plantar flexing. And we're just trying to work our way up to the back of the knee, close to it. If you feel like you want to spend more time on one particular spot, go for it. Okay, that's good. I'm going to switch to the other leg. So, switching my leg position and resuming with ankle circles with the opposite leg. At least 3 to 5 revolutions before I adjust my position. And I'm working across the belly of the muscle. Guys, a better view of this. Okay, so one leg stacked over top of the other. And I'm doing my ankle circles, right? And I want to really get there. Okay, that's where the money is, right on the belly of the muscle. Okay, I'm still very much towards the tendon. Shimmy forward. Oh yeah, we're getting there.
Really work those ankle circles. Work across the belly of that calf. Really dig in, apply that pressure. Oh, I get tired. That ankle. Okay, that's good. Now, my tibialis tend to get pretty tight. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going into that dorsal extension, and I'm just going to sit back a little bit just to really stretch that out. Okay, that's good. All right, so we are moving on to one arm rows. We're going to do this one side at a time. And we're going to do this in a countdown style, which is, I don't know if I'd say a preferred way that I like to do these, but it's just a nice structure for the one arm rows, and it keeps me from wasting time. So the way this is going to work is, you can do a couple warm-up sets to figure out what your working weight's going to be. And again, we want to stay in that range of within 8 to 12 reps. 8 to 12 reps is going to be our rep range, and being within 2 reps of failure with whatever weight that we're using and whatever number that we're landing on. And we're going to do 10 reps per side, 9 reps per side, 8 reps per side, 7 reps per side, 6 reps per side, all the way down to 1 rep per side, and then that's good. Then we're going to go on to our bully stretch, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. Now I'm going to do just a warm-up set with the 24, and then I'll do all my sets with the 32. I guess I'll do this on the side that you can see. Okay, perfect. All right, set up. Leg on the bench. I want to bring my supporting leg out wide to create a pyramidal base, not a narrow base. Because when your weight gets up to a decent percentage of your own body weight, the weight of that bell is going to shift you over. It's going to create some unsteadiness. So when we're doing strength or hypertrophy training, we really want to be in a position of control all the time so that we can really focus on our innervation and our isolation and what we're trying to accomplish. We don't want to be dicking around with trying to catch our balance, okay? So, leg up on the bench, wide base. I've got the weight out in front of me a little bit, and here's how I like to approach this. I like to do a pre-engagement of the lat. So, my lat is on stretch right now a little bit with my arm out in front of me. I'm making sure that with my arm out here, I'm not hiking up into my neck. I'm keeping that depressed down. So shoulder down and back towards the hips. I'm going to start with a drag. And when I do the drag, I'm not actually pulling on the bell. What I'm thinking about is closing this gap. So right now the armpit is open. I'm thinking about contracting my lat to pack that shut. And because the weight is
gripped in my hand, the weight is coming along with it. So that just helps me to tune into my lat better, get that pre-engagement for when I actually do the row. I'm gonna make sure that I am getting as much lat engagement there as possible and less of that mid to upper trap rear delt engagement and bicep engagement. Don't want that. Okay. Let's do a 7-10. 1, 2, drag and pull. 3, drag and pull. 4, 5, 6. You'll notice that I'm staying fairly square. 7, eyes on the floor, and this shoulder's not coming up any higher than it needs to. So I'm not twisting my body. I'm not looking to the side, I'm looking to the floor. 7, think. 8. I'm also trying to draw towards my hip. 9, 10. Okay. Pro tip. Don't move the bell to the other side of the bench. Just turn around. Okay, setup is the same. Leg on the bench, wide base. Post with the hand. Get comfy. Bring that weight out in front. Drag first and row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Remember, do not twist. Twisting is not an active part of the exercise. We're not trying to move the bell with our trunk muscles. We're trying to move the bell with the lat. So as I row, when I retract, my chest is going to open up a little bit and give the illusion of a rotation. But the importance here is the emphasis is not on rotation. And I'm not trying to rotate. The rotation is a byproduct and mostly illusory anyways. So focus on staying square. Okay, shoulder comes back, but I'm not twisting. Very important. Okay, working weight. Oh, sweet Jesus. Okay, grab some chalk here. I think what I'll do, I'm gonna continue with the green until I get, until I finish my 6s, and then I'm gonna start my 5s to rip. That sounds better, doesn't it? Okay, down to 9s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Switch. Weight up front, drag first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, you'll notice that I'm letting that arm come forward. I'm a big proponent of elongate the muscle. Let the muscle lengthen to its, technically its resting length, but its longest shortened length, its longest active length, and then concentrically contract to work through the largest range of motion as possible. I'm not a fan of doing rows where, so we've done the row, and then you're keeping your shoulder blades back like maximally, and you're not allowing
those lats to stretch. Okay, a little bit of kyphotic curve. Kyphosis represents the normal curve of the T-spine. There should be some normal kyphosis there. And because the exercise is, we're doing rows, this isn't about, we're not doing a plank or anything. Although, ironically enough, in a plank, you should be in that position as well to fix the shoulder girdle to the rib cage. But, point being, in the same way that if you're doing like a bicep curl, we let the bicep lengthen, and then we move through that entire range of motion. Same thing with the triceps. We let the triceps lengthen, and then we contract. It's ridiculous to do a row and to try and isolate the lats where we don't actually allow the lats to lengthen, okay? Because we have this preposterous idea that whenever we're doing upper body exercises, we always need to be like super rigid like this. It's an overemphasis. It's a gross overstatement of what we really need to accomplish, okay? So we need to look at what we're trying to accomplish and then satisfy the requirements of that goal, okay? So I want that arm to come forward, that scapula is gonna pull into the rib cage, and we're gonna see that round out a little bit. The difference here is that I can do that and keep my lumbar still in a neutral position. Not that we're getting out of a neutral position with the upper body anyways. I'm belaboring this point way too long. But like I said, don't be super rigid in your rows, okay? Allow that arm to come forward. Stretch that lat out and then re-engage. Where the hell was I? Was that 9s onto 8s? Make sure you're not initiating that pull by hiking up here. We want to really think about drawing down and back from underneath the shoulder. Right? Down low. Okay, I'm going to do one more set with the green, then I'm moving on to the red. Down to 6s. Again, you can lengthen through the upper back without compromising the low back. Good stuff. All right, down to 5s, increasing the weight. Quick drink. Here we go. Switch. Okay, out in front, drag first. Down force. Freeze. You guys having fun yet? Down to twos. Let's just go right to three. Makes more sense anyway. And we'll finish with three. Fantastico. Okay, bully stretch. Let's turn this guy. You can see my lovely setup here. Okay. So why don't I just bring this guy over? All right. So let's take a look here. We need a medium band. So grab this blue one. Oh, I got a green one over there. Let me grab that. Okay, so medium light band. This guy is, get this in some better light here. What did I say before? 1.25 inches. So, setting this up from a high anchor point. You don't need a pull-up system, but it helps. We just need a high anchor point. This guy is gonna go into the elbow, and I'm gonna pull that behind. And the reason it's called bully stretch is because it's kind of like how a bully puts you in that behind the arm position, right? So I'm just gonna readjust this camera position here so you can have a better vantage. Try that. Okay. Got a bunch of junk in the way here. All right, so arm is in, it's just above the elbow. I'm gonna pull this behind, and the way that I'm doing this is, so arm goes behind, and I'm gonna take my other hand and pin it against my back. And then basically what you wanna do there is just start stepping forward until the pressure of this band starts to help you feel like you're getting that stretch. So now, obviously, we're getting an anterior stretch here across the that shoulder-chest junction. But what you may notice on this one is that you get this interesting stretch across the lat as well. And I'm going to adjust this guy a little bit still. There we go. Let's do that. Get arm through. And I've got the same side leg forward, so I'm in a stagger stance to keep this balanced. And yeah, just trying to stay square. so I'm not twisting or anything like that. The band itself is creating a rotational torque this way, and I'm just trying to stay square against it. In fact, I can even turn away. And if you turn away, you're going to start to really feel it light up just behind the armpit into that line. Keep your shoulder anchored down. Deep breaths. And only use as much tension as is appropriate. We don't want to overstretch, right? You don't want to traumatize your muscles. We don't want to create any micro tearing as a result of stretching. Not ideal. Defeats the purpose. Okay, switching it up, hand behind. This time my left leg is forward because I'm stretching out the left side. And I'm staying square. But I can rotate away from the band to intensify it. By rotate, I just mean I'm sort of turning the shoulders. But not much, like less than an inch. Fairly upright position here. Trying to keep that stretched arm relaxed, and it helps to do that by, of course, you're holding it there with your opposite hand, right? So you can relax that other arm. Okay, that's good. Ooh. After a stretch like that, I like to do just a simple overhead flexion stretch. All right, we're gonna finish with a bent press. This is kind of like an unorthodox kettlebell lift. That's sort of strongmanish. Manish? You know what I mean. Okay, I'm going to start this with a yellow bell. I'm going to work my way up. So what I'll do here is I'll do 3 reps per side, and I'm going to ladder up in weight. Okay? This is sort of a feat of strength type movement. Now, if you don't have very good lat development, lat engagement, you're not able to tune into your lats that well, you may have a little trouble with this exercise because it involves what we call flaring the lats, which really is just a word for contracting the lat. And when the lat contracts, it sort of bunches up. So it's, in this instance, it's sort of flaring. And when we say it's flaring, what we're trying to accomplish is just create a firm platform for that arm. Also, when that lat contracts, it supports the architecture of the shoulder from below. We normally think of shoulder stability in terms of the shoulder itself, deltoid, rotator cuff, but we tend to forget about those inferior muscles, the ones below, but they offer stability from below as well, so specifically the lat. So here, let me just go ahead and show you what it looks like. I need to get my kettlebell into the rack position. I'm gonna start to position my feet in a very windmill-like position. So, feet a little bit wider than shoulders, or maybe around shoulder width, depending on your flexibility. My feet are facing away from the bell, and I'm actually gonna shift my rack to my side. So rack is normally in front. I'm gonna shift it to my side. It's almost like it's sitting on the side of my torso. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna contract my lat, and that's gonna help me stabilize in this position, but it's also, again, creating that firm platform. So from here, with my hip kicked out and my lat engaged and the bell seated comfortably, more or less, I'm gonna descend down into very much a windmill-like position as I extend my arm and press out, or at least that's what I'm thinking about doing. and then come up with the bell. Back in, shift to the side, contract the lat, windmill down, extend the arm, and then come back up. Let's do that one more time. Swing to the outside, contract the lat, stabilize, kick that hip and descend down, and keep pressure applied upwards into the bell. Okay, let's switch. So, swinging to the outside, contracting through the lat, kicking the hips out, and back in. Swing to the outside. Now, you can use speed to your advantage on this to somewhat. So the faster you go down, generally the more confident you're gonna feel about getting into your destination. But it would be really good to practice this slowly, work on that stability and control and that strength. This is my wonky shoulder, so I might use speed to my advantage here. Okay. So, does that make sense? You guys got that figured out? Let's bump up our weight. Swing to the outside, tighten the lat. And switch. Now, what sort of weight would you be doing this exercise with? Generally, we're performing this exercise with a weight that is too heavy for us to press out normally. That's the significance of this exercise. That's why one would do it to get a weight overhead. So I encourage you to make sure that you're working up to that weight. That's your goal here. So for me, I don't do a lot of pressing, but the 32 I can press overhead. So generally anything over the 32 kg, that's kind of my zone for the bent press. But my recommendation here is ladder up so that you're sort of priming yourself up to whatever your goal weight is. Okay, orange guy. So in theory, when you're doing this, the bell won't really move vertically much at all. What we're really trying to do is, at the very least, keep the bell where it is, and we're bringing our body underneath the bell. And the strength of the arm is really just required to keep the bell from descending with the body. And that's how we get into that arm lock so that we can then stand up into a high fixation. All right. Swing to the outside, tighten the lat. And switch.
shoulder. Oh. Yeah, shoulder really wants to internally rotate on me. Don't feel comfortable. Okay, so we're almost there. We're gonna do a couple more here. Try this 32. Okay, you guys ready? Oh. And stand. Eyes on the bell. That's good on that side. That side doesn't feel fantastic, so I'm gonna call it there. All right, so stay safe, you guys. Tomorrow we've got, I think we've got a long cycle and snatch day. So if you're joining us, make sure you stay tuned for that. Otherwise, this is the last week of our free sessions for the strength and recovery classes. If you're interested in continuing these classes along with the ample coaching that I'm offering in between all of these exercises, all the tips and tricks, if you're really interested in that, you can go to our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/Nanaimo Kettlebell, where you can check out the different tiers and benefits that you can receive by pledging to our initiative, basically. Trying to deliver quality training to people, quality kettlebell training. So go to that website and you can check out all the cool things that you can get. Lots of different tiers, different packages that you can do. Okay, we will catch you at the next one. If you have any questions, you can feel free to leave a comment on this video or send me a message. We'll see you next time, guys.